Hey guys, this next couple of videos, probably two or three, are going to address some questions that were left on my YouTube channel wall. They were made by a woman going by the YouTube handle Stacy Moses. Now, the questions did seem a bit confrontational, but that's okay, because questions like this are important. They offer me the opportunity to really educate others in regard to what all this stuff is about. Okay. Now, the issue here is that Stacy brought up the fact that Aleister Crowley believed that spirits and demons were commanded by the hand of God and through some magical ring given to King Solomon by the archangel Michael. Now we have to remember that Christian symbolism was used heavily within the Western magical tradition, basically out of convenience. It was one of the most um, prevalent religions of the world, as it still is to this day. As a matter of fact, it's getting worse and worse. It's like a disease and it spreads, you know? It seems like the more this Christian ideology spreads, the worse off the world becomes. But when we're talking about the hand of God, you have to look at that in the context of Crowley's whole practice. Okay? We cannot look at this strictly from a Judeo-Christian lens, Miss Stacy Moses. We just can't. Because if we were, the sorcery would be ineffective as well. And the reason why is the Christian God is not going to condone sorcery of any sort. I know, I have the equivalent of a 2-year Bible degree. I can tell you right now that the God which empowers sorcery is not the same God of the Bible. And I can tell you right now, Miss Stacy Moses, the Christian God never freed any slaves from Egypt. No. The Christian God is the God of slaves. And they're still wandering around in the wilderness waiting for their promised land. It was a completely different God. Hence Elohim, multiple gods. Okay. Now, in regard to this magical ring, we have to understand that the very word grimoire means grammar. That's all it means. The actual sorcery and the magic is found underneath the symbolism of these words. For instance, we can take the Goetia. We can take any grimoire and find that any complex magical tool within it is nothing but an extension of self, and its complexity basically conveys the message of the complexities of the human psyche and the human mind. For instance, the brass vessel of Solomon can be likened to the subconscious mind. The temple of Solomon can be equated with the self, okay, one's own subjective reality. And this ring given to Solomon by Michael is basically the magician's true will. Okay? If you have these ingredients in check within, the tools and the weapons are in your hands. It's just the way it works. Okay? Um, so, yeah, I do not use the hand of God to compel my magic. Not the Christian God, anyway. Um, when you look at the context of Crowley's message, he understood that humanity was a microcosmic representation of divine power, whether used for darkness or light, positive or negative means. He was a yogi, So this God was the God within. It was the serpent, which lies coiled at the base of the spine. It was basically saying that the sorcerer and magician had to have a certain amount of spiritual awakening before the ceremonial actions that we take as sorcerers can have any significance within self or the outside world. Okay, that is the first point. I'm going to step away for a moment and address the next.